think many people would surmise this, in fact, that really, when you think about it, the stupidity of Harry and Meghan knows no bounds. I mean, you can't really blame him because obviously, as I've said to you before, I see very much a man-child boy that's been looked after. And literally, when he walked down the aisle in St. George's Chapel on that fateful day now, all of those years ago, he literally was going there to meet his new mummy. That's exactly how she'd styled herself, Meghan Markle. Somebody that could look after him, take care of him, of course, and make sure that all of his woes were taken away, as long as, of course, he could exploit his background, name, and, of course, those wonderful contacts that he had. But of course, when you're really unguided and absolutely have no idea how to move in those particular circles, it doesn't take long for the wheels to come off. And this is exactly now what's happened when you think about it between Meghan Markle and, of course, Harry's much once close family. Let me explain. Hi, nice to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me. By the way, can I just throw this out to you? Apparently there's a new report out in Australia that, we've got Trooping the Colour this coming weekend, which is the official birthday of His Majesty the King, King Charles III. And apparently people over in Australia now less and less inclined to celebrate this simply because he doesn't live there, thousands of miles away. And of course, he's not a regular visitor. Of course, as we know, there's lots of British expats that do enjoy, of course, the celebratory aspect of all of those wonderful pageant and ceremonial events that the British monarchy do so well. But I throw it out to you. Are you disinterested in this? Because obviously I'm going to be covering that at the weekend, and I'd love to know, how does it feel if you are in another country? Do you feel slightly cut off? Is it something that's fading, or is it as robust as ever? Let me know in the comments below. Now, here's the deal, right? You can imagine if you are His Majesty the King going through a terrible sort of, climbing back through health. I think he's done a terrific job. According to a very well-placed source, Camilla is concerned because, he doesn't really know how to slow down. But isn't that all, fellas, really? We don't really know how to stop. It's sort of a thing of, well, we'll just keep going. It's only this, we'll battle on. And really, you should take a bit of time away. Yes, I'm listening to you, Mum, and I know what you're saying, you know what I mean? But on the other side of the note, it's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously he wants to keep going. Now, His Majesty the King, you can understand, also wants to keep close relations with all of the family, all of the senior members of the family. Even the battles with a younger brother, Prince Andrew, are put to one side for big events, family occasions, that sort of stuff. But it seems that, His Majesty the King as well offended Meghan Markle because, quite frankly, she was offering the opportunity now to reconnect to her children, the children we never see but pop up on Netflix for money. And as you know, when Prince Harry came over, he could have brought at least one of the children with him, but he couldn't be bothered or wasn't allowed or whatever, Now, again, here's where it gets really interesting because according to that source, basically he has been offered the opportunity to connect. This is all via social media, Zoom chats and all that sort of stuff. And apparently that's the option. That's what's on offer. Take it or leave it. Now, obviously, as you can understand, His Majesty the King, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, has decided to decline that wonderful, very connectable offer. How can you build a relationship with grandchildren through the world of social media, particularly when you've never met them? This would be like talking to a complete stranger, as in the case of Princess Lily. You're not seeing that person. You need to have some connection. Now, for those that say Prince Charles is a cold, uncaring parent or indeed grandparent, you only have to see him the way that he dealt with Prince Louis at the Platinum Jubilee. People want to go to him. He has a natural warmth, and all the grandchildren inside the British monarchy have an excellent relationship with him. And that's nothing to do with his position of power. Kids don't know that, do they? They either like you or they don't. But isn't it a sad state of affairs that literally that's what Harry and Meghan are now offering His Majesty the King? As you can understand, he declined it, but why on earth would you even think this was a good idea? And could you absolutely trust anything that was going to be recorded over in the Montecito end, with a child or not? Somehow it could get leaked. You know how these things happen, right, Meghan? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.